What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we have a brand new legendary hero in the Dune summon named KHEPRI. So of course, we're going to take a look at this brand new hero, break it down, and give it a grade. But first, download Gemstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, so KHEPRI is a 5-star dark hero, ranger class, and part of the Moon family, so that's a bonus for 1 or 2 heroes with a 10 or 20% chance to cast 24% defense for 2 turns and 98 water damage over 2 turns on an enemy who deals special skill damage to this character. That's a lot of verbiage for the effect, but there you have it. If the enemy special skill defeats this character, the chance is 50% to 75%. So that's a little something by KHEPRI. Certainly not a passive to ignore, but not one of the more overpowered passive effects. And then we have another passive here, effects on special skills. A 60% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts their special skill. Deals 70% damage to all enemies. All enemies get negative 24% mana generation for 3 turns. And 60% is a pretty good chance. So, you know, that is something to keep in mind. I think that a mana decrease in generation is actually quite a powerful special. So that is one that is probably one of the better ones that is printed on a hero, by the way. The attack is only so-so for the legendary heroes they release these days. It used to be absolutely out of this world, but these days 776, that's all right. 809 defense is very good, and 1520 HP, very, very good. Scarab Bombardment is the special at average speed. So if you have one of the new mana troops and you leveled up high enough, of course you can make KHEPRI go off basically at fast speed. Deals 275% damage to the target and nearby enemies. That's a pretty good amount. That's on par with other heroes that we see hitting 3. It's not eye-popping, but it's normal. It's not weak by any means. Summons a Scarab Bomb Fiend for the target and nearby enemies. The Fiend damages the enemy with 38% attack every turn. And considering the attack stat's not as high as you see on some of the more recent heroes that they've put out. I mean, it's average. It's not out of this world, like I was saying, but 38% attack's okay, right? The Scarab Bomb Fiend absorbs healing and disappears when it has absorbed health equal to 30% of its owner's max health. So we've seen these fiends on a number of heroes now. We know how they act. Lastly, the Scarab Bomb Fiend explodes after 3 turns, dealing 300 damage to its target and minor damage to its nearby enemies. So when you add that 300 damage to the 275% damage that it's dealing to the target and nearby enemies, this damage does start to add up, especially when you add up, you know, what's listed in the passive specials and everything like that. So when it all comes down to it, this is a lot of text to say that it's going to nickel and dime you with damage over time, and it's pretty much straight damage. We're not seeing shenanigans with this as far as like attack decrease, or other than the passive here, mana generation, which is really, really dangerous. And actually this mana generation, I think, is probably one of the more like the decrease in mana generation, I should say, that the passive on that is actually probably one of the best things going on with this hero. But there is a lot of ways in Empires and Puzzles to take care of this nickel and diming damage that it's going to do. It's not doing a whole lot all at once. It's just kind of doing it constantly in smaller chunks. And that could be dangerous if you don't bring any healer, or you don't have a good board or something like that, because real quick you'll see this thing start to wipe heroes out. I think that the fiends can be a lot of fun. You know, we haven't seen fiends act quite like this before, where they're hanging out, attacking a hero, and then explode at some point. So that's cool, and I'm excited to see that. Just a really fun type of new effect. But it's not particularly slowing the enemy down at all or anything like that. So, you know, do keep that in mind. It is average speed, so unless you have the mana troops, it is just a tad slower, meaning you usually have to make 4 matches instead of 3. But if you have the mana troops, which a lot of people do, most people do, I would say, then you can get this thing to go off a little bit faster. With all that said and done, I think that this is going to be a pretty good hero, but not one that I see being a no-brainer in all situations. I think that you may see KHEPRI on defense. And in fact, I think that's probably where KHEPRI is going to be a little stronger. But there's so many amazing purple heroes on defense already, especially at tank. And I wouldn't say that KHEPRI is necessarily a tank, although if you don't have one of the really strong purple tanks, I'd be perfectly happy putting KHEPRI in there until one of the other ones came along, right? Because just looking at the base stats, like the heroes they're releasing now have just come a long way from ones that they've done before. So I certainly don't think there's anything overpowered about KHEPRI. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. I think it remains to be seen. I have a history of underestimating minions, by the way. Not minions, these fiends, I should say. But these ones do pretty much straight damage. That is something that we're used to. So I'm going to say that KHEPRI is a B+, just because he's not a standout against the Titan, probably not a standout in events and tournaments, especially with the fiends taking extra time and you're trying to race the clock, right? You know, when it comes to war, he falls into that sort of category that's like just a teensy bit slow for the like regular wars, and then for the very fast wars, well, the effects on the slow heroes are just so powerful. So I mean, he's good, not great, cool, not memorable, B+. That's what he is in my books. So, but you know what, like, it's a cool effect that we see. I think it's fun. You might have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm really curious, and if you get him and use him, I'm super curious about what your analysis of it's going to be, especially on attack, where in my mind, I don't think the attack, that he's going to be quite as good on attack as he will be on defense. But, you know, that remains to be seen. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know when I drop new videos or go live, and I will catch you in the next one.